It's a good AGam in Kansas morning. Good morning. Let's take a look and see what's coming up today. On Horsing Around, Dr. Chris Blevins and Ann White share their thoughts on the new home for the Equifest in Topeka. Next, we catch up with Kevin Thielen and Audrey Monroe with the Kansas Beef Council at K-State's Cattlemen's Day. Then KC Olson discusses prescribed burning for Sericea Lespedeza control. Dustin Pendell talks about high-profit versus low-profit cattle producers. And we'll end with a look at what goes into a successful calving season. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hello and welcome to Horsing Around. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. Today at Equifest 2016 with Ann White. She is the manager of Equifest this year, so welcome, Ann.
Thank you, Chris.
You know, I think this is a very exciting event. We're at a new place. We're in Topeka at the Expo Center. It's hard to even walk around with the amount of people here. It is just amazing. It seems like it's great flow. What is kind of your take on how it's going so far this year here at Equifest?
It's been very, very exciting. We are having a great time. The transition that we had to make from Wichita to here has been incredibly smooth. The community and Topeka, Visit Topeka, all the people in this town have really embraced us. And the volunteer work, the committee, the horse council, everybody involved just has put in hours and hours to make this happen in really kind of a short amount of time.
Yeah, I think that you do a great job of managing people and just the amount of people that you have working on different things. It makes everything go very smooth. And so I want to definitely commend you on that aspect.
Well, I always say it takes a village, and I have the best village in the world, and certainly people just rise to the occasion. And that's the only reason I do this, is because the people that help and volunteer and work are so good that it's so much fun to be around those kind of people.
Now, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you actually had that vision for Kansas a while ago, and here we are, full circle, and you're helping manage it.
I did. 20 years ago, I sat in a meeting and said, I think we should have a horse fair. And I raised my hand, and they said, well, Ann, then why don't you go ahead and do that? And So went to one out east and kind of saw how it was done and came home, and it's been happening ever since.
Yeah, it's grown to this. Well, let's talk about next year, 2017. We're going to be here, I would assume, but what's going on in 2017?
So 2017 we'll be back here at the Kansas Expo Center. The date will move up a week, so next year will be 17th, 18th, and 19th of February. It is our 20th year anniversary. We've already contracted Chris Cox. We have a lot of exciting things planned for next year, and so you'll want to keep posted, keep watching us on Facebook and Twitter, and go to the website as the things, get solidified for what we're going to do next year.
That is great. It's always an exciting time. People love coming and doing something in February. It's kind of like getting everything ready for the rest of the season. So appreciate everything you do out here.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins with Horsing Around, and we'll see you around.
Support Kansas agriculture education with an AgriTag. AgriTags are available anytime at your county treasurer. They look great on cars and trucks. For more information, go online to ksagclassroom.org.
Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We are having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, good morning. I'm Kevin Thielen, the Executive Director of the Kansas Beef Council, coming to you today from Cattlemen's Day at Kansas State University. We have all of our staff members here today kind of rolling out and showing some of the things we've got going on in the nutrition world, some of the social media activities we've got going, along with some of our Kansas Beef Endurance Team activities. I think producers recognize that, we've had a little bit of a correction in the cattle market, and that's certainly been something that Kansas Beef Council has been focused on. One of the things that we are really seeing is the price at retail is starting to come down. And retailers actually have pretty good margins right now. So as a beef producer, what you're going to see coming up here is you're going to see a lot more featuring of beef items in the newspapers. We're already starting to see that, and I think that's going to really help to drive demand for our product. The other thing I was wanting to talk with you a little bit about today is the U.S. Meat Export Federation is pretty positive related to the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, and we have seen in 2015, even though we saw a decrease in the value of exports in 2015 accounted for about $260 per beef animal, so still a major function of what we do from a value standpoint. We saw a $60 setback in those prices, and a lot of that has to do with buying power. When you think about a company that comes to buy beef, basically what they're doing is our beef was more expensive with the increase in the dollar. With TPP, what is expected is some of those really key markets that the U.S. Meat Export Federation works with, such as Japan, Korea, we're going to see some of those tariffs that we pay actually coming down. When beef goes into those countries, our tariff is as high as 35%. And over the next 15 years, we're going to see that coming down, probably in some cuts, even down to zero.
Well, we are celebrating National Nutrition Month at the Kansas Beef Council, and we have several exciting programs in store for the month. We are distributing information about beef's role in a healthy diet to several groups in Kansas that are important in making nutrition decisions. Folks like health departments, school nurses, K-State Research and Extension. We are also hosting a webinar later this month about the role of protein in the diet, specifically in athletes' diets. So we're talking about endurance athletes, talking to our Kansas Team Beef, which is a group of runners who are enthusiastic about beef and protein in the diet. So we'll be hosting a couple of webinars for them to discuss the role of protein in their training and competition diets. We also have a lot of good programs on slate for the month of April. We are continuing to spread the word about the 30-day protein challenge, which is a tool that you can sign up for on beefitswhatsfordinner.com to receive an email every day for 30 days telling you how to increase the amount of protein that you have in your diet. It contains recipes, tip sheets on what foods contain protein. It encourages consumers to really take a look at their diet and say, how do I feel when I eat, say, a carbohydrate-rich breakfast versus how do I feel when I eat adequate amounts of protein for breakfast. So we're continuing to spread the word about that tool, as well as get in front of groups that are influential in our state, such as the Kansas Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics and the Kansas Nutrition Council. So to sign up for the 30-day protein challenge, go to www.beefitswhatsfordinner.com and take a look at those resources and sign up for that daily email.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome. Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Lecompton. The name was splashed across newspapers throughout America and Europe. It was debated in the halls of Congress. Lecompton interprets its unique territorial history with 2 museums and other sites. Events throughout the year celebrate history and community.
The 160th anniversary of the Battle of Fort Titus, June 18th, 2 p.m. Reenactors welcome. Call 785-887-6148 for more information.
Spend the day in historic Lecompton, shopping, eating, savoring the rich history.
AGam in Kansas, brought to you in part by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Well, folks, I'm KC Olson with Animal Sciences and Industry at Kansas State University, and I'd like to spend a little time this afternoon talking about growing season prescribed burning for Sericea Lespedeza control. It's a fact that one of the most successful grazing management schemes of all time is practiced on a wide scale here in the Flint Hills, where yearling cattle come into Kansas. They spend 75 to 100 days on native tallgrass prairie. And in most circumstances, immediately before those cattle will arrive, we will conduct an annual prescribed burn. And that burn has the effect of enhancing steer gains for that short period of time that the steers are here. Now, I'm saying this to give you just a little bit of a prelude. Our Sericea Lespedeza control measures have to be compatible with that production system. Intensive early stocking, or double stocking as it's sometimes called, has been outrageously successful for almost a century. Now, the trick with Sericea Lespedeza control is it has to occur at a point in the plant's growth cycle where it's vulnerable to damage. And with Sericea Lespedeza, along with a number of other plants, damage is most likely to occur between when that plant flowers and when it's complete with its reproductive cycle. That happens to be in the months of August, September, and October here in Kansas. Couple of things that we're trying here at the university for a non-herbicide related control mechanism. First of all, is moving our window of prescribed burning from the spring of the year to the latter part of the growing season. We've evaluated 2 burning treatments, one conducted approximately on August 1st and another one conducted on approximately September 1st. And this is very unusual, not a common practice for the Flint Hills. But what happens when we apply prescribed burning during that interval of time when Sericea Lespedeza is vulnerable to damage, we can, the later we press that fire into the calendar year, completely suppress seed production. We've done that for 2 consecutive years. We feel like the September 1st burning treatment has been most successful, and from a cost standpoint, exclusive of insurance, burning costs about 75 cents an acre to conduct. The least expensive comparable herbicide control method costs between $8 and $16 an acre, and it's a repeating cost. It's something that's going to have to be conducted, if not yearly, at least every other or every third year. Now, burning is something we do anyway, okay, here in the Flint Hills on pastures that we use for stocker production. If we could convince ourselves that even if there is a trade-off in livestock performance that comes from, instead of burning in the spring, we then burn in the late summer, even if there's a compromise in animal performance, we are probably likely to be money ahead because we're saving a lot of money and time in herbicide costs. Now, another treatment that we're currently evaluating for Sericea Lespedeza also involves this late season interval of vulnerability. And in this circumstance, when the steers leave, when the yearling cattle leave in mid-July or early August, we then follow those yearling cattle with a short-term, very intense period of sheep grazing. Okay, we use large mature sheep, and they will respect a normal 5-wire barbed fence. We use mature sheep because they require very little in the way of animal husbandry, and we also are using mature sheep because there's a ready supply just one tier of states to the west. And in contrast to other Sericea control mechanisms that cost money, I mean, for our producers here in the Flint Hills that are used to custom stocker production, this might potentially become an alternative income stream. And over the first 3 years of our 4-year study, sheep show a very clear preference for broadleaf plants over grasses. And the amount of seed suppression that we've been able to get just with normal grazing activity coming from these sheep has been absolutely incredible. Reductions in seed production on the order of 10-fold relative to an untreated pasture. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this segment, and I thank you for taking the time to watch it.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses in rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery, and so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results with stem cell injections, but at about 3 to 3.5 months, I started to feel better. I started to have less pain and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Support Kansas agriculture education with an AgriTag. AgriTags are available anytime at your county treasurer. They look great on cars and trucks. For more information, go online to ksagclassroom.org.
This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Took a look the last 40 years. We went back and looked at the beef cow-calf enterprise data from the KFMA, Kansas Farm Management Association data. So what we did is we took a look at just the last 5 years. So we went back from 2010 through 2014, and we took those individual beef cow-calf enterprises. We broke them out according to the profitability. Effectively, we ranked them from the most profitable to least profitable, and then we divided that into thirds. So we had your top third or your high profit producers, your middle third, and then your lowest profitable producers. And so that's effectively what we did on the second half of the study, is just comparing those high profit producers to those low profit producers. And we found some interesting things there. From the revenue side, we found that the producers tend to allocate a higher percent of their labor towards livestock, so they specialize in livestock. The most profitable farmers compared to the least profitable farmers. The most profitable producers tend to have larger herds, more cows. More profitable producers tend to have slightly heavier calves when they sell them. And at the end, looking at just your gross income of your top most profitable producers compared to your least profitable producers, they generate about $135 more revenue per head. So thinking from a management standpoint, if a producer tracks their records, they can go in and dig down and figure out if there's any opportunities for improvement, and that's probably going to come on the cost side. There's a lot of things that a producer can't control, weather, consumer demand, etc. But what they do have control over is the cost. And so in order to, you have to know what your costs are, and so you need to have those records such that you can do that. The producers that tend to specialize more in livestock production relative to crop production tend to have lower costs. Producers, like I said, they need to collect the data. That way they know where they stand relative to other producers, thus benchmarking, as you pointed out, and identifying their own strengths and weaknesses is kind of the first step in deciding where to focus your management efforts.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, Sure Crop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. Sure Crop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose Sure Crop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
I think it really extends your home out to the outdoors, and Mark always had kind of a vision of what he wanted to do with the yard, and so he envisioned this kind of outdoor area, the waterfall and things, but when Blueville came in, they had some really good ideas of how to place it and how to do different things that really enhanced the project. So.
Yeah, over the years we've grown to really enjoy our outdoor living space and developed a great working relationship with Blueville.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
To see this show and past episodes of AGam in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com. AGam in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Healthy calf, healthy cow. That's all you can hope for out of any calving season. But keeping cows in condition to breed back anticipates a successful future.
We assess body condition score on a score of 1 to 9. With 1 being really thin and 9 being a really fat, obese cow. And so what we want is we want cows to be at a body condition score 5 or 6 when they calve, because it seems to stimulate the rest of the reproductive system of the cow.
It also gets her calf off to a quality start. While a cow's weight can vary 200 to 400 pounds in a year, they need to be gaining as calving time approaches.
So increasing nutrition approaching calving so that they're in decent condition, or increasing condition approaching breeding is extremely important.
For cows that need a condition adjustment, Lamb says the second trimester, usually right after weaning, is the best and least expensive opportunity.
This is the period of time in which the cow has so few nutritional requirements, just basically maintenance of her own body reserves, because the fetus isn't big enough to really consume a lot of nutrients.
It's all smooth sailing from there, just maintaining condition until ramping up for calving. No need to worry about a cow can suddenly gain too much in the last weeks. Lamb hasn't seen that happen.
But what we do see is we see healthier calves. we see calves that perform better, and we see cows that start to cycle better afterwards. So having cows calving in a body condition score 5 or 6 is greater.
I'm Bob Cervera.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. To see this show and past episodes of AGam in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com.